Hey everyone. Happy Friday. I'm not very peppy today. Are you peppy? You're never peppy. Get a camera. No? Yeah, you're not going to find out who Penny's daddy is today. Sorry. I forgot to put the stuff together. I still would like to know. But we're going to have a party tomorrow. We're going to have Who's Your Daddy stream. Maybe Owens part 3 or maybe some other stuff that I have. I don't know. I'll throw it together at the last minute. Things have been working very last minute lately. Oh, okay. Where are you going? You done? That's it? That's all you wanted? You got your 15 seconds of fame? All right. Well, here we go. So I have the video from 2 hearings, and I will admit when I make a mistake. Occasionally I'm wrong. I mean, it doesn't happen a lot, but I will admit when I'm wrong. And I screwed up. I made a mistake. Everybody got that? I forgot to include some information in the timeline order. So now we're all screwed up in the chronological. Oh, I don't know. It's all screwed up. So now I feel like I need to go back to the start and redo it because, then it'll be, yeah. So we're going to, flash back for a minute before the hearing we saw at the end of part 1. And a couple things happened. I'm not sure what, because I can't find my screen. Okay. So one of them was, oops, wrong one.
Can you tell me how to get on this video, please?
One of them was, this order of protection was filed at the beginning of the month. It's just a basic, you get down to the courthouse and you just fill out a form. And this is the form that was filled out. It's nothing. There's no crazy information on it. It just says one party is pregnant by the other or they had a romantic relationship in the past. There's certain criteria you have to meet in order to get an order of protection. You can't just go and say, hey, that guy. You have to have some kind of relationship for it to fit into this category, for it to be domestic in nature. So this is what she included. You're supposed to tell the judge what happened. And she typed it up. So obviously this was prepared ahead of time. Clayton has sent threatening messages since discovering I was pregnant, such as, I legitimately hate you right now. I mean, it's not really a threat. My hatred will only grow if you decide to put me through all of this. I mean, he's being honest. Is that... I don't see anything threatening about that. I don't know. Oh, I lost my place. My animosity would last for a lifetime, and that's not something either of us want to subject ourselves to. Kind of feel like that's a true statement too. Sorry, my computer's acting all wonky. What are you doing? Like totally froze up. You can't just like freeze up. I have 3 screens for a reason. Oh, dear Lord. Okay, continuing on. One thing about me is when I make up my mind for good, especially when it's rooted in anger, I don't sway. Ever. I think that should be even. My hate is towards you and you only. If you decide to not take the plan B, and in the wild event that you are pregnant, I would hate you even more. I mean, I hated you a lot, but I kind of can't blame him. I mean, he's in a stressful situation. He's lashing out and he's speaking his truth. And I don't see that as threatening. Like, you can hate whoever you want. We know how many parents hate each other. We watch it every day. Clayton was the Bachelor. Like, why do we need to mention that? And has many diehard loyal fans? Really? Are you guys diehard? Like, okay. He and I are involved in a very public paternity case. Gee, how did that happen? That is being covered by every major media outlet. Clayton posted a story to his 270 followers. Wow. Really? Did my entire stream freeze? Nope, that's still going. Somebody tell me if you can still see me, because everything's all frozen. I don't know if I'm just talking to air. Okay, thanks. All right. I have been sent threatening and harassing messages by his followers. That I believe. Okay. Like, randos are going to send her crazy stuff. She put herself in a public position. And yeah, I can't. What in the bloody hell? I can't click on anything or do anything. What is going on? Something's open that's hanging it up. So I was trying to highlight the post that says, I didn't know who he was until this. Yeah, I didn't either. I had no idea who he was. Like, I've never watched The Bachelor, and I probably wouldn't. This is why I don't do lives. I hate dealing with this crap. Well, that solved that problem. Okay. Yep. Now we're good. I just lost all my tabs. I'll get it back. Not in any way, shape, or form. And nothing in there was a threat. And the reason I was doing that is because I wanted to show you this, which I forgot to pull up ahead of time. I believe she's coming from a place of, I don't really know what to call it. Like, spoiled rich girl land, where, like, this is such a horrible thing that somebody said these things about you, because people say worse than that about me and to me every single day. Like, it is what it is, you know? And she is talking about this as being like so bad. This is harassment. This is family violence. This is domestic violence. And all I can think is, you have no idea what domestic violence is. Like, you have no idea. And then as I'm sitting here thinking that, then I found, come on. Can anything work today? There we go. Then I saw this. Did you guys see this today?
Glass vases in the hallway in
Where's the one? I hate my life right now. He chases her down the hallway, is kicking her and hitting her.
lies on the ground, combs, then kicks her.
That, my friends, that is domestic violence.
Drag her on the floor back to the hotel room.
That is domestic violence. Oh, wait, no.
Mom,
What was? I hate you.
Mom, can you tell me how to get on this video, please?
I'm just going to listen to that on repeat so I can laugh. Saying, I hate you. We're going to be miserable forever. I mean, yeah, you're having a kid with someone that you don't get along with. It's going to happen. Like, it's going to happen. That's facts. That's life. That's not. That is not domestic violence. That is not something you should tie up the courts for. So she even notes how she called the cops before. Don't waste the freaking cops' time on your petty ass shit. That infuriates me. And then Reddit. People on Reddit are talking about me, writing defamatory, very hurtful things. You know what? Life hurts. Life sucks. Get over it. People are allowed to say mean things about you when you act like an ass. Act like an asshat? Get treated like one. You're going to get called out. This is reality in the big girl world. Daddy can't shelter everybody forever. There's no bubble to make sure everything's okay and happy, rainbow, glitter, unicorns. Fucking suck it up. It's ridiculous. He's caused me extreme psychological harm and disrupted my peace. Like, go the fuck home. Are you serious? We read the text messages last week, and oh my gosh, they're so much worse when we get going. He has multiple accounts now. So even if one is blocked, he can create another one. He's been blocking her and doesn't want anything to do with her by this point in the narrative. And she's going and getting new numbers. He counted 13. OMG. So last night, I was like, what's a casita? Like, I went to look it up. She lives in her freaking parents' pool house. Like, come on. You can call it whatever cutesy little name you want. She lives in the freaking pool house. Like, I want to live in like a storage shed in the backyard when I grow up. She doesn't want him to come to her residence, her work or business, or her school. All right, so this is the first hearing that took place on
All right, good afternoon and welcome. We're on the record FC 2023
oh gosh, I forgot the date.
052771 in the
Where's the
matter
date?
of Lauren Owens versus Clayton Ray
He calls
Echard.
her Lauren.
Ms. Owens, are you present on the line?
I guess I am.
Ma'am, can I have you state your name for the record, please?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
sweet
Laura Owens.
Thank you. And if you'll raise your right hand, let me know when it's up. I'm gonna have you sworn in.
It's up.
You do solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Ms. Owens. This is a hearing on your petition for order of protection. I'm going to ask you some questions about your petition. Before I do, are the statements alleged in this petition true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
So this is the ex parte hearing. Clayton is not involved in this. She is presenting this information to the judge. He is responding to the form we just read, asking her additional questions to go on from there.
Yes.
And the nature of your relationship with the defendant, Clayton Echard, is what?
So I'm pregnant by Clayton, and so we also had a romantic relationship.
Okay. Do you currently reside together?
No, we do not.
And are there currently any orders in place, protective orders in place involving either one of you?
I have a protective order against somebody, but there's nothing between us.
Okay. Now, earlier, well, let's see, it's been a couple weeks. A couple weeks ago, you had filed a petition against Mr. Echard involving some of the same circumstances that you've alleged in this petition, and the court at that time denied your petition. You know what allegations I'm referring to?
I do, yes, and there have been more, and there was even another one just since I filed it this morning.
All right, and I appreciate that. I saw that in your latest petition. The point I want to make is that because the court has already ruled on those other incidents, and specifically the one with the date associated with June 10th and the other with the date associated with September 21st, we're not going to talk about those issues today, but I do see that your latest petition does have events that are alleged to have occurred with the dates and I'm going to quote your language, between 9/22 and 10/5. And then you have another event that has a date associated with it of 10/6/2023, where you were referred to since September 28th. So let's talk about those events in that time frame. What is it that Mr. Echard has done, and when did he do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know if you caught that. She filed a motion to have this TRO put against him for the things he's posting online. The court denied it. So she filed another motion and said, oh, but he's doing additional things too, in addition to that. And so the judge is not considering anything that had already been decided and is only going to hear new things since the motion.
So I just want to make sure. So, can we talk? Or I'm sorry. He had just done something, and I'm really upset. So you wanted to talk about like when he posted to his followers about to look up my court cases against the man I have the protective order against.
Yeah, and I can facilitate our communication. Let me do this. Did any of the posts refer to you by name?
They did not, but he said because I asked to remain anonymous in this whole thing, but he said to look up the post by his name, and because of that, I've been named by like everybody online.
Okay, but did Mr. Echard post anything that referred to you by name?
No, he did not.
Did Mr. Echard post your case number in any of his posts?
He said to look up the case number.
All right, and
you know what?
And so he provided his name, right?
Yes, and he told people where to search on the Maricopa County website.
All right. And then what are the statements that were in the post that referred to you specifically?
So he said that I had done this. By this, he meant gotten pregnant by 2 other men before, which is true. And after he did that, he has posted many times just facts about the cases. In one of the cases,
So far, he has posted that there was a case, which is public record, and he's posted the facts about the case, which is also public record and true. Continue.
I have a civil case, and they're both against the same man. I have a civil case that I had given discovery materials to the man in the civil case, and Clayton was able to get a hold of those and leak those documents online, which those did have my name on them.
Okay.
And then Clayton has now posted that the results of the paternity test came back, which they did not, and he said that he's the father. He's not the father, and again, they did not come back.
Well, they did come back. You just had to get a redo because you can't test when there's no babies. No more fake babies. So, Clayton went online as soon as he got the results. And this is
Listen, it's Friday, and you know what we need on a Friday? We need some good news.
But
and
you
who's
can't
got
hear
the
it,
good
can you?
news today? I got the
Hold on. I forgot. Share screen.
baby. I knew that was going to happen. You know what we need on a Friday? We need some good news. And who's got the good news today? I got the good news. What's that good news, Clayton? Well, test results came back early, and they said little to no fetal DNA present. Let's go, baby. I knew that was going to happen. Thankfully, 5 months of torture can finally be put to rest.
He's posted that.
So go away, son. I kind of wonder what would have happened if she would have called him and said, I'm pregnant. And he would have said, well, It's not mine. I can't have kids or something along those lines. She probably felt him out first, like to make sure. Because some people can't. And there's no way to know. It's not like they wear a name tag. Hey, I'm fertile.
It's
I'm
just so
not.
that I'm just getting harassed like crazy. I just have to go and submit a retest. So
So,
he's really
so,
gotten people.
so let me
against
ask you, and here's the line of concern that I'm in what's directing my question. So, folks that communicate things publicly have a constitutional right to that includes a freedom of expression, and so long as their communication is not illegal speech, in other words, it's not well, illegal speech can include a number of things, but if the comments are true, or rather, if the comments are not untrue and they're not illegal speech, then they are generally protected free speech. So what is it about these posts that you claim are not protected free speech?
Well, so in the first one, when he said the initial cases, I guess I should have explained that a little more. He tried to make it seem like I had faked being pregnant. That was his insinuation, that I had quote
All right.
done this.
So how did he insinuate that? So and here's and this is let me distinguish.
Clayton was on from the start.
What
He
I'm
knew what was
asking
going
and
on.
what you're saying. So he you can't draw the conclusion. All right. So tell me, what is he saying without you drawing a conclusion? Because some people may not draw the same conclusion as you. Use his words and tell me what it is that he said that you think is unprotected free speech, or not that's not free speech.
Just that he said he said that on his page, and then on Reddit he went online and he named me and he accused me of faking pregnancies in the past, and he has cussed me out on there. He's harassed me. He himself had said that I really should kill myself on Reddit.
And again, did he refer to you by name when he made that statement?
On Reddit, yes, he did. He referred to me by Laura Owens. Every time he posts on Reddit, he posts my full name.
Okay. And then when you...
I've never seen that anywhere. And if that is true, that is crossing the line. But I feel like somebody would have a screenshot of that somewhere. If you do, please show me. I would like to see it.
Use the word harass. What is it that you mean?
Well, I mean, like when he said that I should kill myself, and when he said that he said online that I have lied about being pregnant when I have not, and he has absolutely no proof that I did, and I've provided all this medical evidence to prove that I was pregnant. And despite that, he's just trying to incite people against me who have just been horrendous to me online, including him, who has multiple false accounts, fake accounts that leak information that only he would have about me. And like I said, every Reddit post just has my full name. He lists my full name everywhere.
Okay. Other than through legal counsel and court proceedings, should there be any path of communication that's left open between you and Mr. Echard?
Absolutely. I still need to talk him into dating me.
The paternity case. No, I guess there's nothing else that needs to be left open.
All right. And the North 69th Street address in Scottsdale is your home address?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And then do you know whether Mr. Echard uses or has access to firearms?
I do not know. I don't believe he does.
All right. And then I know that you have language here that says, and I'm looking at your proposed form of order. It
How
says
about
no
has he
cyber
ever
harassment or cyber bullying
come to your house?
under real name or pseudonyms. I'm fairly certain I understand what you're asking, but can you explain what you're asking the court to order if I were to grant your petition in terms of cyber harassment or cyber bullying?
Yeah, I guess him not posting on Reddit trying to incite people against me, or he just did this this Instagram post where he's trying to incite people against me by saying that that these test results are back when they're not. And he's name calling on Reddit, and he sent my attorney a message from an email address saying Laura Owens liar at gmail.com. And so I guess not that, like just
I'm gonna put money that was one of us and not one of him. Really, I don't think he's gonna create a Gmail that says Laura Owens liar. However, if you go look at some Twitter handles, you'll probably find that.
I just want him to kind of just stop all of this. I want him to just, be a truth teller and stop harassing me, I guess. I'm not explaining it well.
Okay.
There's nothing to explain. He has not crossed the line into harassment. We have talked
I'm
about
going to type
this.
some things into your order. Let me tell you, Ms. Owens, I'm going to grant your petition. I'm going to issue an order of protection that includes you as a protected person, and include your home as a protected address, leaving open only the path of communication that Mr. Echard is not to have contact with you except through legal counsel and court proceedings. And then I'm gonna work on some language here for a moment that addresses the issue about what's going on online. And then I'm going to read that to you and see if there's anything that you wish to have change. So give me a moment while I do that, and then I'll read to you what I have, okay?
Oh, okay. I mean, he can. I don't mind if he emails, because we don't have counsel in the paternity case. Neither one of us does.
I just want him to stop making me look bad.
Basically, I just want him to not, be that character assassination or anything like that.
Okay, but in this day and age, people have different opinions about what's character assassination, and that's what I understand what you're saying, and I believe that you have a particular idea about what you're saying, but to use that term, or cyberbullying or cyber harassment, those are amorphous terms that don't have strict boundaries. So I'm gonna work to communicate that. But you want to leave open a path where he can email you regarding the paternity case?
Yeah, just because we don't have counsel.
Okay.
So he's going to make that round peg fit in that square hole. And the reason why, I guarantee you, the reason why in his head, and I'm just guessing here, is the one comment that she said he made on Reddit. That's one comment is all it takes. Because there's literally nothing else anywhere. There's nothing. Yeah, it's really weird. Like, she filed this, it was denied, and then she comes back and now she's getting it. And then they have to come back again so he can defend himself. Like, I really don't quite understand. Thank you. Do you know what's funny? Look how, like, cool, where is my camera? It looks like almost ombre. It's just the color wash because I haven't done anything with it. It's too funny. I did look up what, let me see if I can get this share screen file, what the Arizona law is that I couldn't find the other
I have included
day.
language in your order that says defendant shall have no contact with plaintiff other than as outlined herein, and shall not cause others to contact plaintiff other than as outlined herein. And I'll read that to you in just a moment. I have also included language that says defendant shall not communicate or post untrue or harassing comments regarding plaintiff online, including but not limited to social media, and shall not cause others to communicate or post untrue or harassing comments regarding plaintiff online or otherwise. So I've tried to leave that vague, and I've tried to leave it such that it doesn't interfere with individuals' constitutional rights. With that and with that understanding, is there anything you would have changed about what I just read to you?
I think that's absolutely perfect.
Okay. And then
Of course she does, because she's getting what she wants. Wait, this time. Okay. So in Arizona, for a emergency order of protection, which is where you start usually, or a regular order of protection, you can apply if the defendant is your spouse or former spouse, you live together, you're related, you were previously or are now involved in some form of relationship, whether it's love or not, or they're your in-laws. That's it. Like, that's, you have to have one of those relationships. You either live together, dated, or are related by blood. And in addition to being related, the defendant has to commit, he either endangers, threatens, or intimidates, assaults, including dangerous weapon, causing serious bodily harm, kidnaps, interferes with custody, criminally trespasses, abuses, interferes with judicial proceedings, blah, blah, blah. Harasses. 2 words. Harasses, threatens. The meanings of those words are up to the judge's discretion, which is where the only reason that she's getting this is because he is writing it this way to make it fall in line with harassment and threatening, intimidating behavior. Because otherwise, she's in fear, okay, but he did nothing to cause her to be in fear.
the outlined is herein. I'm going to read that to you in just a moment. Let me just make sure I didn't miss a word or anything here.
I have an issue with classifying one night drunk hookup as a relationship. Like,
Okay, and then there's a section of the order of protection that says defendant shall not contact plaintiff except as checked, and I've checked the box other, and then it says through legal counsel and court proceedings and through electronic mail only regarding only matters pertaining to the paternity matter. Anything
That's
to change
perfect.
about that?
No,
Gummy
that's
bears for the
perfect.
win.
That's perfect.
All right, so this order of protection, Ms. Owens, will not become effective until it's served. It'll be sent to the sheriff's office today for service. But after this hearing, I'm going to have my office send you a copy of the order in case you need to involve law enforcement sooner than it may take the sheriff's office to serve your order of protection. Understand that while we'll send your order of protection to the sheriff's office today, it may not be served today. It may take a day or so. But if you need to use that copy before then, look for the email after the hearing and you'll have the copy available to you to use. Okay?
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Just a little more
it was because it was
information. The
twice.
order of protection becomes
The second
effective,
time sealed it.
when it's served, not before then. And then once it's served, it will remain in effect for a period of 2 years, unless before then it is dismissed or modified. You could request to dismiss it or modify it, or Mr. Echard could request a hearing contesting it. If he requests a hearing contesting the order of protection, you will have the burden of proof at the hearing to show why the order ought to remain in place as issued. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else for today?
No, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. We're adjourned for today.
So all of this happened before the video that was in the in the number 1, whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say. Brain's not working very good. know that's a typo, but that's epic. She's getting an oral protection. That's awesome. Because she feels threatened. She feels like that's awesome. She feels like he and his followers online are all gonna say mean things about her and hurt her feelings. They're gonna make her feelings feel bad. And she's gonna feel bad. Fucking grow up. I would like for her to come live a day in my life. Let's see how that works for you. Let's see how you do with that. It'll teach you what a lot of those words mean that you don't seem to know. Jeez. It just blows my mind. So after the last hearing, no, before the last, okay, so we're still before the last hearing that I showed you. Now, Clayton gets this and he's like, WTF? Really? Like, an order of protection can really hurt you when it stays on your record. I mean, it comes up in background checks and everything else. It's not like it's no big deal and nobody sees it. It's not just a piece of paper. I mean, it's a piece of paper when you need it for protection, but it hangs over your head and it causes issues. So, somebody say scones? Where's scones? I want scones. I love scones. Orange scones, orange cranberry. Oh. Anyways, so I'm sure he freaked out when he got this. So he's contesting it. And that's what this hearing is. And the audio is absolute freaking garbage. Horrible. I enhanced it the best I could. I'm not an audio engineer, but I just made it louder and louder and louder and louder.
Owens and Clayton Echard, case FC 2023-052771. For Ms. Owens, counsel, do you want to make your appearance?
Yes, Your Honor. Attorney Joshua Lopez representing the plaintiff in this matter, Laura Owens, who's present before the court, sitting to my right.
Thank you. Nobody has to stand up again, okay?
Oh.
Not even you. All right, so. Ms. Owens, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Laura Owens, 5/14/1990.
Thank you. Mr. Echard, sir, tell me your name and date of birth.
Clayton Echard, 4/29/93.
Echard, thank you. All right, I'm going to administer the oath. Do you both solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Just before we start, there was a motion to allow plaintiff to appear by phone. I denied it last night. And then
Where is that coming from? What did I believe? Because there's been like 3 or 4 comments about that. I'm not really sure what. I believe in evidence, not words. Like I like writing, not let me tell you a story, because if I'm telling you a story, it's probably not completely true.
there's another motion from the plaintiff
Things get
this morning.
changed. Memory.
Oh, it says attorney for defendant, but that's a typo, right?
That is a typo, Your Honor, and it's my understanding, at the same time I was unaware, yesterday there was the hearing, and we had a hearing yesterday. Mr. Echard was the petitioner in that matter in an injunction against harassment matter.
Oh.
That was available for individuals to access that hearing online via the court's website. It's my understanding in order of protection hearings that online access is not available.
That's what I was told by staff.
Okay.
So I'm just going to deny it as moot.
No problem.
Your second motion,
Okay,
which
thank
is
you.
to request that the hearing be closed from the public. Well, that's a non-starter, pretty much.
Okay.
That's really rare.
I understand.
How do you go to the public, announce everything, put your name out there, and then say, okay, but you can't know anything else about it? It doesn't work that way. If you're going to put it out there, it's out there. This stuff is public record already. Like, you don't get to take and say, oh, but I don't want mine to be. It's not how this works.
And, I mean, these public hearings. But at the same time, or that the hearing be closed from watching online. I'm told by my staff that we don't do that. It's just not set up to do that today.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So that's been my, we'll file your, let me just give this to you so you can file it after the hearing. There are real kind of unusual rules attached to orders of protection. So. All right, I've read the petition. Folks, the way I run all of this is just, where do you go? Is he down there?
Yeah, he's plugging in.
All right, the way I run all of my hearings on orders of protection is they give us a time slot of 45 minutes. So I always start out by saying to people, each side will get 20 minutes to put on their entire case, and that includes me looking at any exhibits you might have. And the way the sequence of events will be that the plaintiff gets to go first. I want to hear her view of the matter, her story, and she can include her exhibits, as to supplement what she's saying. And then after plaintiff is done testifying, then I'm going to invite the defendant, Mr. Echard, to ask questions of the plaintiff if you have any. You don't have to have any, and I don't take any inference from whether you have them or not. So once that process is done, then I'm going to invite the defendant, Mr. Echard, to tell me what happened from his point of view. And we'll consider the exhibits that he has. And then I'm going to invite counsel for Ms. Owens to ask Mr. Echard any questions if he has any. Again, you don't have to have any. And then finally, here's the other motion. And then finally, I'll give Ms. Owens an opportunity to sum up or to do a rebuttal to what Mr. Echard said. Okay? So it's a
event that
Shit. God, I hate this thing. He really tells them like exactly what they're gonna do. Like, this is how it's gonna go. You get this amount of time, you get this amount of time, and that's it. Like, follow the rules. Sorry, I hit the
close
button.
from
I
the
always hit the
public.
button.
Well, that's you don't have to have any, and I don't take it. Probably will not allow more time. So,
I think they used like
with
the
that
original
said,
first webcam ever
I will
made.
invite Ms. Owens to put on her case. You've got
Terrible.
20 minutes, Mr. Lopez.
And Your Honor, could I do a brief opening?
Of course.
Okay. Let me just start my timer. The evidence will show that Laura and Clayton had a romantic relationship back in May of 2023. Laura became pregnant with Clayton's twins. They are due in February of 2024. Since that time, Clayton has disputed that Laura is actually pregnant or that he is the father of their unborn children. Clayton has made it known to Laura that he hates her, and this has caused him to post harassing information about Laura to his hundreds of thousands of followers online. The evidence will show that Clayton has committed domestic violence within the meaning of the statute in multiple ways within the past year, and that there is a likelihood that this unlawful conduct will continue into the future if this order of protection does not remain in effect. We will request at the end of this hearing that it do remain in effect. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay. Start by establishing the relationship and then including whether they've ever lived together, and then take it from there.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Sure.
Laura, how do you know Clayton?
He was my realtor to start with, and then we were intimate one night in May of this year.
And when you say intimate, is that a sexual relationship that you had with Mr. Echard?
Yes,
Where was
I think
that?
it's like
that was at
7
his house.
more.
And is his house located in Scottsdale,
Yes, it is.
here in Arizona,
Yes,
and within Maricopa County?
yes.
All right. And after that encounter with Clayton, was that back in May of 2023?
Yes, it was.
And what happened from then?
From then, well, we had a real estate transaction that went wrong. He ended up getting in trouble with the ADRE for not submitting my offers. But that happened a few months later. After that, on June 1st, I found out that I was pregnant, and I figured he probably wouldn't believe it. So I went to urgent care, to Banner Urgent Care, and had it confirmed there by a doctor, and then I told him.
Okay. And was there anybody else other than Clayton that these unborn children could belong to?
No, I hadn't been intimate with anyone else since March of 2022. I was violently assaulted and raped, and I had hang-ups for a long time.
Okay. Now, since then, what has your relationship been with Clayton moving forward?
Well, I've tried to get Clayton to accept responsibility and figure out a parenting plan with me. But that's really been it. It's not like it's been a dating relationship. And yeah, I mean, we've communicated via email for the most part.
Okay, and has he posted anything online or sent you communications indicating his hatred toward you?
Yes, he has.
Please avoid the leading questions.
Has he sent communication to you?
Yes.
Okay, and what is that in regard to?
That has been in regard to how he feels about me, and how he hates me, and that doing this to him, meaning making him be a father, would be his idea of being in a living hell. He's told me he wanted 100% custody, despite also claiming I was.
Oh my God, it hurts my brain. It hurts my brain. Like, this is a normal, like, Saturday night argument. Like, not even a bad one. What the hell is the problem? Like, move on with your life. It is not a big deal.
I wasn't pregnant, but then he said I should take 100% custody. He also said that when we thought it was just one baby, would be put up for adoption, and then he said that he wanted me to have an abortion.
Okay, so I'd like you to turn to Exhibit 1. What is that?
These are text messages from Clayton to me, just threatening, really, saying that, you know, I needed to back off on, basically on saying I was pregnant, and then he referred to, yeah, he hates me. He demanded he talk to my mom, which he did, and then he said people like me needed to be held accountable if I was lying about being pregnant, which I clearly was not. He said that when his mind is rooted in anger, it doesn't sway, which I took as threatening, and then we have about him saying about an abortion or adoption.
Now, these text messages, are those from Clayton to you?
Yes.
And were those within the past year?
Yes, they were.
Since May of 2023? When
Yes.
you became pregnant?
Yes.
Okay. What happened on 9/21/2023, as you stated in your petition?
That was when Clayton posted on his social media, that had a big following, that I had 2 identical cases, and tried to present me in a very false light to his followers.
I'm sorry. What in that statement is wrong? That is all, it was all true. It happened. Like, this isn't something that she denies. She had to. Thank you, Donna. Welcome. She had 2 identical cases. Yep. Nailed it. Like, you can't get mad at someone for posting the truth about you. Like, if you don't want to be called a hoe, don't be a hoe. And I'm not saying she's a hoe. I'm just saying in general, like, if you don't want the reputation, don't do what you're doing. I think he has a couple 100,000. It's not like he's raking in 10 million people. He's not telling the whole world. And of those, how many even know who she is? 5?
Did Clayton ever indicate to you that he wanted you to prove to him that you were pregnant?
Yes.
And did you take steps to do that?
Yes, I did. I went over to his house and took a test he bought in front of him, and I peed on a stick in front of him.
Okay. Were there other things that you did to show Clayton that you were in fact pregnant?
Yes, I invited Clayton and his family to go to my first ultrasound with me, which his family didn't respond and he didn't go. And I asked about taking a prenatal paternity test, and this has been an issue with him and I going back and forth as to who to take the paternity test, but I proved that I paid for it in August, and he did not show up for his portion. He didn't schedule it.
So did you ever send him a video showing him that you, in fact, were pregnant?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I'd like to turn the court to Exhibit 17, and, Your Honor, I'd like to admit Exhibit 1 into evidence.
Any objection to Exhibit 1, the text messages?
Okay, quick question, then I'm going to stop talking because it's going to take forever and I want to go to bed. If he wasn't liked during his season and he didn't get the opportunities everybody else did, do you think that going through this experience and him being the victim humbled him enough that it made him likable? Or, I mean, that it will change it and propel him more into the spotlight once this is resolved? That's just my own curiosity on how this will affect that.
Yes. So I'm trying to pull it up here. I got it sent via email. I would just simply object on the basis that I think there's missing context. It's a text message where no context is provided, and considering the circumstances that I do not believe her to be pregnant, I believe that I'm the one being harassed. So I don't believe that I ever have harassed her.
Okay. I think the context can be shown when it's your turn. You can fill that in, okay? So overruled, I'll admit Exhibit 1. What's the next one?
Your Honor, I'd like to present, and I'm skipping around here because of the limitation in time, but Exhibit 17, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I can bring it's a video, I can bring it up to
What?
The court doesn't have a video in hand, so that would be it's going to be the last exhibit on the list, which would be Exhibit 52.
You don't have a video in here?
No, I don't have a video.
Did you give her a thumb drive?
I did give up my thumb drive yesterday, Your Honor.
Okay, so if it's in there, it'll be Exhibit 52 because our exhibits are numbered differently than how you guys submitted them. So it'll just be Exhibit 52.
Did you give Mr. Echard a copy of the thumb drive?
I did, Your Honor.
Good, okay. All right. Tell us what's on it first, so Mr. Echard just doesn't land in his lap.
No
And
problem.
he has a chance to object.
Okay.
So what is this? Lay a foundation for this video.
Okay.
You've already talked about the fact that that she offered to all the stuff that she did to show Mr. Echard that she really was pregnant, paternity test. She said he didn't show up for it, all that stuff. So what is this a video of? Is it him or is it somebody else on the video?
Who is the video of Ms. Owens?
It's of me showing that I was pregnant. It was a video of me turning to each side to show that I was pregnant.
And did you send that video to anyone else except for Mr. Echard?
The video on 9/20.
The video that you just disclosed regarding your pregnant stomach?
No.
Okay. And did you ever find any harassing information regarding that video online after you sent it to Mr. Echard?
I think you're referring to a different exhibit, actually. The Halloween one?
Yeah.
Because that was, one was video, one was a photo.
Get your shit together.
Did you ever send?
Yes, but
This had an image, so exhibit 11.
Not likely.
Is
It would take a lot.
a screen grab of a Reddit thread saying how to win the scariest costume contest, and it's me turned showing my stomach, and it's me holding a sonogram of our son that only he had possession of, so he clearly made this up of me, which obviously was offensive.
I
So
know no
in
one else had it
exhibit,
because I made it.
11,
Yeah.
our exhibit 11, that is a picture that you had sent to Mr. Echard.
Yes.
You did not send that to anyone else, or did you?
This was sent to somebody in the press, but they weren't supposed to
Clayton's
publish
there.
it. But the sonogram that I'm supposedly holding was
Why would you send it to someone in the press? Like, why? You can't send something and say, "Oh, but don't publish that." I mean, yes, you can, but you have to actually be someone. Like, you can't be a nobody like her. And okay. So what you have to remember is Clayton is number at least 4 4 from the lawsuits we know of. So this has happened previously with other people in various forms. It's kind of like an evolving art. Like, do you remember when you watched me like a year ago and I really sucked? And, you know, a year later, I've done a lot of stuff and I suck a little less. And I mean, today I'm having a really bad night, but overall, in general, you know, people evolve over time, and she has evolved her craft and she is changing it up. This is 2 before Douche Canoe. 2 before. This lawyer actually withdraws after the next hearing we're going to watch.
That was not sent to
5 hearings,
anyone
I
else
think.
other than him.
Okay. So was he the only one that would have been
No.
able to post that?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Your Honor, Exhibit 11, I'd like to admit into evidence.
Any objection?
That's the one with the picture right there. Just want to
Yeah.
make sure you can admit that.
Okay, thank you. Exhibit 11 is admitted.
Yes, in this
Okay.
case.
I think.
Moving forward, let's talk about
Yeah, it's worth noting. This is
Well,
what
tell
she
me,
was
what channel,
what she was upset about in the email she wrote to me is that I didn't specifically note, hey guys, look, this is Laura showing up to court the day after the video that I showed in part 1, where she had her belly up to her boobs, and she showed up in court the next day, and that's to prove that she's really pregnant because she showed up in court looking pregnant. But then it went away.
did this have any connection to her, or besides, you know, her image, her face is not shown. So does this identify her in any way?
So it does because of his image. People on Reddit, there have been just thousands of people who have posted on this about me, and so this was just another post about me, but I've been identified on Reddit. And this image was shown. Somebody had gotten this image on Reddit, and it was with my face. They just took it out for the purpose of this post.
Okay.
Now, is it your understanding that Clayton had posted online regarding misinformation regarding your pregnancy?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened after that?
So Clayton posted a video on 10/6 on his Instagram that I believe we have, and it was him saying that there had been test results back from the lab, from the prenatal paternity test, saying that the results came back and there was little to no fetal DNA, and that, you know, he wasn't the father, and like a great way to start off the week.
Now,
That's the one we watched a few minutes ago.
Was the paternity test over at that point?
No, it was not. It still is not over.
Is it ongoing?
It's ongoing, and that's what I was told by the lab. They said that they got a diluted sample and that they needed me to submit a new sample, that there was little to no fetal DNA within that sample, but obviously not that there wasn't within me. It was some issue with transit, so they had me come back and take another test.
After Clayton made that,
We're all talking about this, but really stop for a minute and put yourself in her position. She's sitting there pulling all this together. I'm sure most of you have been in a courthouse at some point in time or another in your lives. Do they like give you that instant like on guard feeling when you walk in? Like you're just, I don't know. Maybe it's just my anxiety, but I'm always like just a little bit more nervous when I'm a little more proper and you're sitting there in front of a judge who's, you know, asking you all these questions about all these things. She is all in.
And I'm really upset.
And who I got pregnant by. The pregnancies are verified. That's we admitted that into evidence as well.
let me just stop you. Are you
Yeah.
pregnant?
Yes.
Okay, can you stand up for the court?
Yes.
Oh,
No.
I'll take her.
I'm sorry. If you're pregnant, if you're showing somebody something, can you stand up for the court? Aren't you going to stand up and go like this? Like move your arms out of the, like, look. Not like stand like this and cover it up. Sorry, you probably couldn't hear me very well. Like, aren't you going to be like, look at this and like all around? Not like arms in front of you, covering it up like all. Really? Hold on. Let me go back a second.
These two
StreamYard.
identical allegations.
Do you have any questions?
It just jumps. It doesn't let you stop. And you're like, oh, that's where I want to
These
stop. And it
two
won't stop.
identical allegations. I've never had a paternity case against somebody. I do have 2 orders of protection against 2 men who I.
But this is after it, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Could you not jump 20 seconds at a time? That would be great.
Parents and my brother-in-law and my sister acting like I'm crazy and like I have, quote, done this before when I wanted to address that because I know that he's going to address that these 2 identical allegations. I've never had a paternity case against somebody. I do have 2 orders of protection against 2 men who I got pregnant by. The pregnancies are verified. That's we admitted that into evidence as well.
Let me just stop you. Are
Yeah.
you pregnant?
Yes.
Okay, can you stand up for the court?
Yes.
Oh,
She keeps her hands on the desk and stands up. Like, I'd be flipping my shirt up. Like, look, motherfuckers, like, this is it. That causes me pause. You know, that Psych 101 from college.
No.
Raising red flags.
I'll take her word for it.
I'm done.
Everybody seems to be assuming that. All right, you're you're out of time pretty much.
Okay,
You
can I
shouldn't
just ask?
assume.
One,
You know what happens when you assume?
No.
Okay.
So, Mr. Echard, do you have any questions for the plaintiff? You don't have to have any.
I do, actually.
And you go ahead.
Yes,
Questions? Okay, don't argue with it though. Okay?
yes. Ms. Owens, did you send me via email an ultrasound video?
Yes.
You did? Okay. That was sent by you, okay. Did you also send me an ultrasound photo via email?
Yes, I did.
You did? Okay.
But the
Do
video
you
was
have-
not the video I was trying to attach for you.
So the video that I received,
Yes.
you sent that video?
Yes. That's my understanding.
You
You
sent
said that
video?
you got the video, so.
Okay. I will show us the video when it's my time to present that I'm speaking of. And the ultrasound picture that you sent me, or you had your lawyer show me, do you have an ultrasound report that comes with that?
Yes.
You do. Why have you not presented that as evidence?
Because I.
Objection, Your Honor. That sounds like health information that she doesn't have to disclose her health information to the court.
Overall, you can answer.
I offered you
Yes,
a
she
HIPAA release to get my health information as recently as I think last week, and you didn't get back to me.
But you had it right there. You have the paper. Just show him.
That's false. Did I ask you multiple times early on to take a paternity test?
Yes, as did I. I asked you the same thing.
And did you place stipulations upon that I had to date you exclusively in order for you to take that test?
For 2 weeks in order to take it early. Otherwise, I would just wait until the birth of the children as was required of me by law. It was if you wanted to know early.
Then she's obviously not picky. I mean, she's willing to, like, extort people into dating her. I think we should put together a fund and get her a mail order groom that she can go have, put her back in the casita, and then she'll leave everybody else alone. Like, if you fulfill the need, then you cut off the problem. End story. That's all she needs.
You're agreeing you would only take the test if I were to date you exclusively.
I think you're mischaracterizing what it was. It was so we could make a decision as to whether or not to even proceed with the pregnancy.
This is his time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you to just answer his question, yes or no, if you can. If you're unable to, just say, I'm unable to answer it.
Okay.
So, Mr. Echard, ask the question again.
Yes. Did you state to me that you would only take or do a paternity test if I were to date you exclusively?
At what point?
Within the first two months?
Yes.
You did state that?
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. Would you agree that only oral sex was performed the night that we were intimate?
I would not agree with that.
What would you say happened?
I explained it to you in an email. You said you were insanely high that night and clearly do not have full recollection of what happened. Mm-hmm. Do you want me to explain it to the court in detail, or?
I'm okay with that. Explaining what happened, yes.
Okay.
I remember everything, but yes, go ahead.
I remember everything as well. You were asking me when we were
Your Honor.
naked and...
Just a moment. Did you have a legal objection?
Yeah, I'm going to object at this point. I think this is a little bit outside of the scope of what this hearing is in regard to this specific. I think that I've laid enough foundation. I think I've presented enough evidence to show that there was a romantic relationship. Mr. Echard actually, it sounds like he's acknowledging that by his question. Getting into the details of
You define romantic?
what sounds to be potentially sexual
Definition of
intercourse on the
romantic.
date of this, of what happened on that night. I don't think that needs to be presented in testimony to the court.
Well, sir, since you're here on a paternity case, you kind of need to talk about the fact that there was no way she could get pregnant from that. So if there's a way, then you need to talk about it and put it on the record.
I think to some degree I sympathize with that. Mr. Echard, to go step by step about, like, who took whose shirt off first kind of thing is really kind of beside the point. It's salacious, and it's an invasion of both of your rights of privacy.
Okay.
But what I would think is legitimate is to say, did we have sexual intercourse,
Yes.
where, a person could become pregnant, you can ask something like that.
Yeah, and I guess I'll ask that directly.
The definition of romantic is conducive to or characterized by the expression of love. But it doesn't say that it has to be a mutual expression of love. So that's kind of interesting.
We have sexual intercourse that night.
Yes.
All right. So you're finished with your question?
I am.
Okay. Then I'd like to hear what you have to say about everything they presented. Try to focus on what they presented. Everything else is beside the point, because I'm just focusing on what they put into evidence, not their allegations, but what's in evidence.
Sure. So I would just like to state again, I guess I can address first the video that you saw. I had mentioned that I had been tortured for the last 5 months. The reason, and I did state that
Very true, Carol.
the results of the first round of the prenatal paternity test came back and it showed little to no fetal DNA, which is in fact what was stated to me. This led me, aligned with what I believed, that she is not in fact pregnant with 5 months pregnant with my twins, which I have questioned the entirety of this time. I have not been able to receive any evidence proving that she's 5 months pregnant with twins. When I've requested it, she has not given it to me. We did an early resolution conference last week. The mediator asked for her to make a phone call to the facility. I will present this evidence, the ultrasound photo, to make a call and confirm that she did in fact do that test there. She was not willing to do so. She has not allowed me to speak to any of the doctors that have administered these ultrasounds, which of course has caused me to question her for that very reason, that it should be a very simple thing to do. She states that she invited me, my family and I, to an ultrasound. For one, my parents live in Missouri. Two, they don't believe her. And three...
Objection, Your Honor, speculation.
Well, they
overruled.
don't.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they don't.
Go ahead.
And beyond that, I actually asked to, I did not want to go in person and see her, but I did ask for her to FaceTime me while she was there. She then canceled that ultrasound and stating that she wanted her sister to be there to see the ultrasound for the first time. So, and then when it was time to reschedule the ultrasound, she then stated, I feel unsafe, and therefore I do not want you to know when I'm doing the next ultrasound because I'm afraid for my safety. So she then did not tell me when she did the next ultrasound, and that, in my opinion...
And there has been zero evidence presented that she had a reason to fear for her safety, which pisses me off to no end. If you're legitimately in danger, go for it. But don't fabricate that shit, because you're going to hurt someone else that needs it. And don't lie about that shit.
It was her way of getting out, of being able to FaceTime me while she was there with the doctor. So with all of the times, all she has presented to claim that she's pregnant is a visual image of her stomach and a positive HCG test, which that is not enough evidence to prove a viable pregnancy. Under normal circumstances, HCG, yes, that hormone is present whenever an individual is pregnant, but that can be manipulated. The proof that she states that she submitted in prior cases was the same positive HCG test. That was it. There was never an ultrasound or report or a OBGYN or a doctor willing to corroborate her story. And that has been the case as well. She mentions in the previous cases that they are not exact. And I would state that, sure, they're not exact if we're going to be very specific with our words. But what I can state is she's claiming that she's 5 months pregnant with my twins after we engaged in not sexual intercourse, but oral sex. She's claiming that we engaged in sexual intercourse. I deny that. She performed oral sex on me. There was no penetration. But after one time, she's claiming she's pregnant with twins. In her previous court case, which is publicly accessible, and I accessed the documents, and that's one of the exhibits that I would like to show, she claimed that she became pregnant from an individual after they engaged in sexual intercourse, and she became pregnant with twins. In the court case that I have here as evidence, there's an ultrasound that was sent to the defendant in which she states in the text message that she's pregnant with twins. So considering all of the evidence, I believe that she has engaged in repeated patterns of behavior. And with all of that being said, I do not believe that she's in fact 5 months pregnant with my twins, because I have not been able to receive any evidence of proof that that is in fact the case. She would need to have an ultrasound report and a OBGYN or doctor willing to back up those claims, and she has not presented that.
Okay.
So that is my rebuttal to any of that. As far as the harassing messages, I don't believe I'm harassing her. I never did. I stated that if she's lying, she'll be held accountable, and I don't believe that's a threat. She attacked me as a public figure. I have a large following online. I was on reality television, and she decided to open a court case against me. This family court case. She then decided to leak this to the Sun anonymously so she could protect her name. But
Objection, Your Honor, speculation.
Yeah, how do you know that, tell me, you just said she decided to leak this to the Sun.
Yes.
What's the Sun? Is that like a tabloid?
The Sun is a tabloid. And I did not submit the evidence today, but I do have emails and text messages of her. Well, actually, I did actually submit something. She did threaten to go public. Yes, I do actually have an exhibit in here. Oh. She threatened multiple times to go public.
Oh, okay, so that would be relevant.
And so I can show that. And
well, why don't we see it?
Do you want to see it now?
I think it's important.
It is, let's see.
I wonder if he had an attorney from this point, if they could have quashed everything before it got
Refer
too
to your
far.
exhibit number.
This is exhibit 16. I'm going to slide this up on the screen here.
Exhibit 6,
So
they've been renumbered.
Yeah, he submitted a couple exhibits that were numbered the same, and so it's a little,
Right.
yeah.
So this is his exhibit 16, but what exhibit would this be on? You don't know? Hold on, I have, yeah, the problem is that there are a lot of exhibits and we have little time to put them together, so let me find
So messed up.
your exhibits. Oh my God, quite a few.
Yeah.
So what's your title on this one?
Threat to go public and shame me. Exhibit
That's what it
16.
says?
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
There's 34 things.
34 and 30, which one, 34 or 35 do I, well, he doesn't know.
I don't think he understood, like,
Okay.
the level of cray-cray.
Let's see.
Yeah, right click on it on your computer.
Oh,
I'm thinking so.
oh, there.
Yeah. Seriously, like,
I
Top
don't want a
2,
7-day
3.
trial. Go ahead. No, just go. Won't let me. Okay, but I can, obviously.
Jay, that
do
link
this.
might be expired.
So
Hold on.
let's see. So why don't you lay a foundation for this?
Yes.
Oh, it's right up there, too.
Yes.
Why don't you lay a foundation, date, how did you find out about it? Where did you download this image?
Yes.
What date? And give me some context.
Let me see if I can scroll up here. So this is,
I can see it on my screen.
yeah, it should say the date. I can't see the date from here. But it should be in the top right. So she says in this
It
email.
just says,
I mean, women have been fake claiming to be pregnant or actually getting themselves knocked up when the guy didn't want it for decades. Decades. That's why I'm on this earth. However, like, why is the court allowing this? That blows my mind. Like, this, how is this? There's no babies. There's no babies. Why are we wasting all this time? We could do this after the babies are born, when we can touch them and feel them and make sure they're real. And then everything's okay. Like, I don't understand. Like, there's no newborn that you're going to take him away from his mother, like, the day he's born and give him to his father and then back to his mother. Like, we're not going to start our time-sharing plan day one when he's born. So, I mean, we can work it out after they're born. I really think that law needs to be changed. I feel very passionately about that because this absolutely blows my mind. Thank you so much. Do you know which statute it was? The one I looked up, I only saw 2 requirements. I would love to look that up if you would send me the link.
yesterday, so that's not
Okay.
helpful.
Okay, in this case, this was sent within the last month. As far as the exact date, I don't have it, but it was.
Within the last month?
Yes, because
Okay.
this is when or probably about a month and a half ago.
Okay,
So she states in here, if you want option A, I will not post this. Option A dealt with a dating stipulation. She said, I'm just looking for support because this would probably be over a long time. And so then she states here that she's going to put up a post, the caption, surprise, can't wait for the arrival of these 2 next Valentine's Day. How she knew she was going to deliver on February 14th is beyond me. But she stated on a more serious
That was
note.
the one with
I can read that. I'm just trying to
the
get
board and the
context.
2
You've already
Yeah.
laid the foundation.
onesies.
And where did you get this?
This is a screenshot from an email she sent me.
I got you, okay. So.
The judge is old school. You don't expect
Do you have any
people to not
objection to me considering this
be
exhibit?
truthful.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, then exhibit 34 and 35.
What it's
Are
become.
have you seen 35?
35
Let's
should,
look at 35.
if it's the one, I know, it's the one of the post with the 2,
Echard twins coming February 24.
yes.
All right.
No objection.
Okay, so both of those will be admitted, okay? So Yeah, I can read them, you know.
Sorry,
If that's okay.
Yeah.
But if you want to read them yourself, it's your
Don't
case.
read
You tell me
to
how you want.
I just, yeah, sorry, I didn't.
You want to read it, you can.
Well, I just wanted to play some groundwork, but I didn't mean to.
Yeah, I just closed 34.
I would like to move over to my video.
All right, let me just read this first, though.
Okay.
I can't do it, I can't do it. This is so lame. Okay.
We do not have a video.
Oh,
The video, I have a USB drive here.
Okay, perfect.
all right.
Do you have a copy?
Please give that to the clerk in one.
I gave them a copy. I have one. Here's one for you.
Allison, close out of your browser and try it again.
E3.
Yes, twins usually deliver early, and somebody was asking about twins earlier. It doesn't have to run in your family. I covered it in the other one. A very small percentage runs in your family. The other, it's where you release 2 eggs instead of 1 because your body's screwed up. And it's pretty rare. I think it's, what,
Okay.
3% or, no.
Let me make sure I got all of
Sure.
it because, all right, I got it. All right. So let me just look again at 34. Or
I'm sorry, I didn't pre-watch this and edit it.
35. And so what's the context of 35? When did you get this?
That was in the same email.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
And this is from the plaintiff, Ms. Owens?
correct.
Okay, got it. All right, so what do you want me to see next?
So I'd like to admit this exhibit, if possible. So this is
This is also part of Exhibit 52 because you put all the videos in one. So this will be defendants 53?
Yes.
Okay. Lay some groundwork so they can have a chance to object. Okay,
Yes.
what are we going to be looking at here?
So what you're going to see is 2 screen recordings. The first screen recording is showing my email inbox, that this message was sent from Ms. Owens. Within the message, you'll see the ultrasound video that she earlier stated she sent to me. Then the second clip you will see is a screen recording of a YouTube video from 6 years ago. That video contains
Dead.
the exact same video that she sent me. So you will see that these videos are identical, and this ultrasound video that she sent to me is not her ultrasound. It is a ultrasound that she stole online.
And Your Honor, I'm going to object to that because the scope of this hearing is, again,
Okay,
whether
just
they
like-
had a domestic relationship and whether there has been domestic violence by Mr. Echard toward my client. Ms.
Not
Owens.
denying it.
Regarding paternity, regarding her pregnancy and regarding what maybe she sent to him, isn't it within the scope of this hearing? What this hearing is in regard to is whether, again, they had a domestic relationship and whether he has harassed her by putting things online when there's now a court order forbidding him to post false information. What he sounds like he's trying to show, again, it doesn't have, that's outside the scope of what this hearing is about.
I will consider your objection in deciding what weight to give the evidence, but,
I don't know.
and to some extent, I think there's some validity to what you're saying, but I'm going to give Mr. Echard an opportunity to basically what he's trying to do, and I believe at least.
No, she upped her levels.
Is to show me that this is something that the plaintiff has done before as a way of, I don't know, somehow benefiting herself. And that, you know, she created this whole situation. And that whatever he did was some sort of legitimate self-defense to protect his reputation because she threatened his reputation. I believe that's where he's going with this. And so I'm going to decide, I have to decide what weight to give it and whether that outweighs what he's done. But I think it's legitimate to allow him to put that into evidence, so I overrule. Go ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I will play this video again. You can see within here it says ultrasound video proof, and so I will play this video. I'm gonna just pause it so I can give context throughout.
All right, remember, we'll do a time check. Oh, you're almost out of time yourself. How much do you have? How long?
I mean, this video looks like 2 minutes. I mean, I do have additional evidence that I feel is important to try to submit.
Well,
but this is the most important one.
Jermaine, who sent me the statute. So this order, the temporary protective order, was granted based on the revenge porn statute because of the belly photo with the Halloween package. Is that what it's from?
go ahead, play it.
Okay. So this is showing that this is the email she sent me. She says here is whatever percentage that is, 1,000,000% a real ultrasound video.
1
And when did you
million.
get this?
Does it state on here? This is probably within the last month. Oh, it should stay up there on at the top right. Maybe
You have it on your computer. Can you magnify the view? and
Oh,
just
I see.
tell me?
Yeah, let me pull it up. Oh, what's going to pull up the same one? Yeah, let me pull it over here so I
Or
can
even just look at, the information, get info on the file.
This is Friday. October 6th. Yeah, it says October 6th.
All right, and is that about when you received this?
Yes.
Okay.
So this shows that this was sent from her, and I just pulled up that, her contact info.
Okay.
Now, what's going to show, this is the ultrasound video. I want to highlight you'll see, it'll say baby A, baby B, and placenta, and that's important. Again, I want you to focus, here's baby B, then placenta pops up, and then it says baby A. And so again, I just want to show that this video, this shows B again, and this is the video that she sent me and claimed to be 1,000,000% her ultrasound. Then it shows A. And then it comes here, it shows B and A again. And this is the end of the video. Should be right about here.
Okay.
Okay. So that is what she sent me directly to my email stating that was her ultrasound. Now this is a screen recording from a YouTube video that I found of a video that is what I believe to be the exact same video.
All right, now, how can you connect this video with the plaintiff? You have to do that first. It can't just be someone that you just found on YouTube and you're saying it's the plaintiff, but you can't prove it's the plaintiff.
Yeah.
I'm stating that this is not, this video that I just showed you.
Let him speak first. Go
The
ahead.
video that I just showed you is within this video. She took that ultrasound video.
She used the exact same video.
Correct.
But I'm not an obstetrician. I don't know. How am I going to be able to tell that?
I
This is
think
the video.
with the video,
I'm going to quote your
Oh my
language.
God, I did it again. This is the video I showed you last time where Dave put them on the screen side by side. While they were going. I freaking hate this. My hand twitches and then I click on the wrong thing. Does anybody remember exactly where we were
I
at?
think it's legitimate to question whether she was pregnant.
Okay, no, it was a little bit before that. 'cause he's really-
That,
If I may, it's just in regard to the law, what I think applies here, under the domestic statute,
under what statute?
ARS section 133601, it specifically indicates what domestic violence means.
Right,
And it lists, call it about 20 different ways it can be
right.
viewed. And there's just,
That's kind of where I was going, but you
There's
said
just
you
more
wanted to
there.
interject. So, okay, go ahead. You're right so far.
okay, so I just wanted to just list four that I think like are applicable in this case. So
Yeah.
for
Which ones do you think apply?
ARS 132904,
2904?
that's correct, that should be disorderly conduct. And then three more, which are ARS section 132916, ARS section 132921, and then possibly ARS section 132921.01. That's just all I wanted to inform the court about.
All right. So tell me, I mean, I could pull all these statutes, but what is 2916 real briefly?
2916, just one moment. Use of an electronic communication to terrify, intimidate, threaten, or harass.
Right. I prepared for this hearing yesterday after my calendar was over, and that was, I looked at the petition and I thought, well, which statutes are probably going to be in play? And so I made copies of them, and I did make a copy of that one. And I also made a copy of course, 2921, which is the harassment.
Thank you.
So 29, these are all, as he said, in the criminal code, they define domestic violence as any violation of the following statutes, and they're all criminal statutes. And so so these are what I call predicate statutes. One of them is 29, ARS 13 is the criminal code. 13-2921 is the harassment statute that's applicable to domestic violence per se. There are other definitions of harassment elsewhere, but they don't apply to this. Then another predicate offense is ARS 13, again, the criminal code. 2916, which is use of an electronic communication to terrify, intimidate, threaten, or harass, and so on. And so, okay, I got that one. So what is the other statute that you want me to, let's see, 2916, got that, that's terror. 2921, we already talked about that, that's harassment. And what's 2921.01?
That one, that was a possibility, but that has to do with, let me just.
I got the ARS page in front of you. It's aggravated harassment. That's just like
He's not even a judge. He's the commissioner, where they get an attorney like Norbreck in Michigan. You get an attorney and you make him a magistrate, or in some states it's a magistrate, some states it's a commissioner, and then they help you with the family court case backlog. He's a commissioner.
If a person has already been
Not a
convicted
sitting
of it
judge.
and they do it again, then they can be convicted of aggravated harassment. Or they violated an order of protection.
And to be forthcoming, Your Honor, I don't believe that we were able to get in the evidence that would have shown that one. So I believe the warrants that most comply are the first three that I gave you.
I see.
Am I able to ask a question?
Just a second, I'm trying to figure this case out. When you sent the images to the press, that's similar to this one. Well, I realize you were at a different stage in your pregnancy and you were wearing different clothes, but you still showed basically your belly.
Right.
Right. Did you, when you sent it to the press, didn't you know that they could publish that?
They swore to me, it was to page 6, and they swore to me they were not going to publish anything, that it was just for them to confirm that that I was indeed pregnant. But yeah, it was a different image. It was earlier on in the pregnancy.
Did you give them permission to publish that image?
No, and I made sure that I had in writing from them that they were not going to publish it, and they didn't in any of their stories or anything.
Did you give Mr. Echard permission to publish this image in Exhibit 11?
No.
Not the ultrasound, but
No.
Is Exhibit 11 the leopard print?
all right.
Or the other one?
I'm going to find that the plaintiff has met her burden.
Thank you so much.
One of the
Yeah,
predicate
Ex parte.
offenses here is ARS 13-1425, which is unlawful disclosure of images. The statute is really targeted toward people who send pictures of one another nude or having sex.
I miss Dave
And
Nelson.
then they publish that kind of thing. But then there's also the second, under ARS 13-1425A2, the photo is such that it captures the person, the depicted person who has a reasonable expectation of privacy. And then that's the first sentence. The second sentence, evidence that a person has sent an image to another person using an electronic device does not on its own.
So the thing is the person is supposed to be nude or engaged in a sexual activity. I don't see how showing your belly in a photo? I mean, that one. That's the photo, right? I believe. Like, she has published this photo everywhere. I may be a little fluffy now, but when I wasn't, I have GI issues. So if I eat ice cream, I'm bigger than that. My belly would swell up. You'd think I was 9 months pregnant. Like, that's nothing. Nothing. I didn't give that a second thought. But if you're... That's not nude. That's more than you'd wear to the beach. Yeah, see the muscles and the abs, how they come up, like you could still see them. That's not what a pregnant belly looks like.
Remove the person's reasonable expectation of privacy for that image.
It's ice cream
And
belly.
so, you know, I'm looking at the
It's Ben and
context
Jerry's
of
belly.
this. There was a dispute as to not only whether she was pregnant with your child, but also whether she was pregnant at
I
all.
couldn't go back.
And she sent this image to you saying that this was her. She's testified that that is her image.
She sent it to the judge.
And, you know, that hasn't been disputed. And so, and she said you're the only person that she sent it to. I realize it's possible that she could have sent it to somebody else who could have published it. That's true. But she denies that. And then I have to decide, you know, would she really want to do that? Because it's not the most flattering picture. That obviously when a person's pregnant, you know, their body's changes. And it's not something that I would think that any woman would want to share. Once in a while you see it, you know, on TV or something. But it's something that...
Okay, let me just dispel that rumor for you. I'm a hot mess right now. I don't care if it gets shared. If it's getting to the goal at the end of the line. Like, it's not like it used to be where, you know, Susie Homemaker is wearing her cute little blue dress with a sailor collar and everything's all neat and pressed and perfect. Times have changed. Papa, times have changed.
I don't believe that she would have wanted to share. And this depiction not only showed her, but it was poking fun at her. And it does seem to suggest that you had a connection with it, because that it does say somehow it connects her to this picture, because it's somehow it was connected. The Bachelor website saw that. And also it's this idea of this show holding a fake sonogram, or let's see, I have to move the statute out of the way and look at the imaging.
That's ridiculous. Because it's connected to The Bachelor. It's his fault. Are you serious?
Yeah. It was something like making
That's
fun
right.
of the sonogram, saying, you know, this is all, you know, not true. Real sonogram. Unbrushed wig. I mean, you know, the hair is similar, I guess, to the hair that she has.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
kind of done too.
So I'm going to find that that posting of that image, publicizing that image was, triggered the the domestic violence statute 133601 does include the cite to ARS 1425. I'm going to find that that statute applies, and that is the reason I'm affirming that. Oh, and there's an intent.
That's bullshit. Straight up bullshit. Yeah, and it'd be okay, except that I keep biting my cheeks. I'm sorry if I'm talking weird. My mouth's a hot mess from antibiotics. Like, he literally just went against everything that we know and we have. Like, this goes all the way up to the Supreme Court. Like, you can't like associate A and B. Well, you know, since you like apples and that guy's eating an apple, you must be related. I mean, come the fuck on. Really? That's not okay. Wow. And I understand people are ultra conservative when it comes to DV cases because you don't want to be the one that let the killer go free. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember the David Chase case. He was in front of Judge Manning, but he had prior cases in Nashville, and he beat the crap out of his girlfriend, went to jail, his dad was well known in Nashville, so he got out when you're supposed to have a 12-hour DV hold, and nobody knew it, went home and got her again. Almost killed her. Got off the second time too, but anyways, it happens like more than we care to realize. And no, it has nothing to do with DV, but that's how it was presented and that's how it's classified and that's what the checkboxes say and that's the only way you can get this order in this fashion. And it's bullshit. This is like some made up fairy tale world. Like, can you imagine all of a sudden, like, someone is telling everybody this thing about you and you can't prove that it's not true? Like, you're not in control of. You didn't do it. You didn't cause it. And you can barely fight it. And this person is showing images to confirm what they said. I mean, that has to be like messed up, gaslighting, brain. Fuck. And I'm sorry I'm cussing a lot today. I had a rough day. But like, this is unbelievable. I don't even think it's that. I think it's a generational thing. Because I see what he's thinking. There's no way. Nobody would do that. Think about your grandparents. Think about your grandparents' life. Would they be doing this shit? Right. So that's why he can't
that has
process
to be
it.
shown as well. And the intent, just the act of disclosing it is unlawful.
I'm a hot mess today. Okay.
That would be ARS
We're gonna get through this.
1425A2. I'm also going to find that it also violated ARS 1425A3. The images disclosed with the intent to harm, harass, intimidate, threaten, or coerce the depicted person. And the intent can be filled in by Exhibit 1, which is your email to her that if she goes forward with what I understood to be the paternity claim, that you would hate her and that would it
Are
would
you
not
kidding
end
me?
well for her. I mean, those aren't exactly what you said, but let me just get the exhibit back up again. You said in particular.
Yeah, it wouldn't end well. Wouldn't be great. It would probably suck.
Right.
Like, it would make our lives hell. Like, we don't want to end up being one of those couples in family
Let me
court
get back
in
to her
10
exhibits.
years. Messing up their
Exhibit
kids'
1.
heads.
Your Honor, am I able to ask the question?
Just a moment, please. Let me just make my record and
That's
I
not
think
on the,
I'm really-
that's not on the docket for today.
I'm not an appropriate person to ask questions of, but I'll listen to your question, but give me a moment to get this out.
Okay.
The bottom of the string
Because you
says, I
can't
hate you
prove it.
right now. But there was something here.
Oh. Wow. I know what he's looking for. There was the one quote. People can twist anything. You really have to be careful, like, what you put out there.
You better be serious about being pregnant, because if you're not, I'm bringing this all to light. People like you need to be held accountable. We can back off now. This is all a game and I'll let it go. But if you continue any longer and it's all a lie, I won't hesitate to reveal the truth. One thing about me is when I make up my mind for good, especially when it's rooted in anger, I don't sway ever.
Oh my God, he might expose our lie. Let's
Individuals
put that
like you
under the
that play with people's
porn
emotions are the
statute.
worst kind of person. I've met many, been taken advantage of by many, and I'm sick and tired of being nice, playing nice with them. My hate is toward you and to you only. My hatred would only grow if you decide to put me through all this. I mean, on the one hand, I think it's legitimate to question whether she was pregnant. I think it's legitimate to question whether, even if she is pregnant, whether it's your child. But there are ways of dealing with that, and that would be, going through the paternity case and proving, making her, it's her burden. She has
What
to
about
prove
the
that she's
500
pregnant with your
messages?
child in order for you to be legally responsible for that child. That's the way to handle it. It's like the common denominator in every order of protection that's affirmed is that people have sometimes really legitimate feelings and rights, like I feel you do. But at the same time, they go about it, though, they go about vindicating those rights by taking matters into their own hands and using self-help remedies instead of dealing with it through the courts like you're supposed to. And that's where you went wrong. Not that you had your feelings about, questioning this or thinking that it was a fake or that kind of thing are illegitimate. You can think those things if yet it sounds like you might have had some reason to think that. But the way you published this photo, and which is what I found, I know that you've denied it, but I'm finding that there's really no other
Literally
accounting
no
for it
evidence
except
that he
if she
published the
posted
photo.
it, and I don't think a woman would have done that in a situation like this. Not any person wouldn't have done that. If I before I went on a diet and I took a picture and sent it to somebody, I wouldn't want that picture. It's unflattering. I wouldn't want it. Yes, it's
Dude, are you
focused on a woman
smoking
here,
crack?
but this is something that
Oh my
most humans
gosh.
don't want to have unflattering pictures of themselves posted all over the internet. And so that's my reason for making my decision.
You
And,
wouldn't have done it.
So,
You wouldn't have
and the
liked
intent
it.
is
So she
proven
didn't.
by Exhibit 1. And I also find that that's by doing that, that you violated ARS 13 dash, the harassment statute. ARS 13 dash 2921A.
Wow. I didn't realize how bad this was.
1 and 3, which is causing a communication with another person by verbal, electronic, mechanical, telegraphic, and so on, and written means. And another one is surveys or causes another person to survey the person. I think that is, well, and they survey may have to be in person. it's not.
Yeah.
That term can mean following somebody, it could mean following them and harassing them online. I mean, today, harassment online is just as bad as, almost as bad, possibly worse in some cases.
Yes,
Where, you know,
there's no
it can be
proof he did
magnified
it.
by the large public following. That's something that I think, to me at least, just looking at the regular word survey, it doesn't have to say publicly survey as it does. And like subsection A2, for example, that requires public, that you're following another person in or about a public place after being asked to stop. That doesn't apply here. But I think subsection 3 does, because it doesn't have those limitations about being in public or in person, really. And then I'm also, counsel had suggested that ARS 132916 is applicable. Use of an electronic communication to terrorize a person. This one I'm not sure. Let me look at it.
Kind of hard to put in legal jargon. Oh yeah, there'd be 3 bailiffs dragging me out.
I do not find that that applies. One of the subsections, oh, hold on, there's one other thing. I'm looking at 2916, the terrify, intimidate, harass statute, A, subsection 4. It's unlawful for a person to knowingly terrify, intimidate, threaten, or harass a specific person or persons by doing any of the following. I don't think 1 through 3 apply, but subsection 4 might. So let me read it. Without the person's consent and for the purpose of imminently causing the person unwanted physical contact, injury, or harassment by a third party, like a following, for example. Use an electronic communication device to electronically distribute, publish, email, hyperlink, and make available for downloading the person's personal identifying information, including a digital image of the person, and the use does, in fact, incite or produce that unwanted physical contact, injury, or harassment.
Yes, October 4th.
This paragraph also applies to a person who intends to terrify, intimidate, threaten, or harass an immediate family member of the person whose personal identifying information is used. I don't find that the last sentence applies. There's no evidence that he intended to terrify or intimidate or harass her family. Although that might have been the effect of it, I don't think that he had that intent. But I think that he had the intent to do that to you. And so I'm going to find that another applicable statute, which is another predicate in ARS 133601.
He's just pulling shit out of his ass at this point. OMG. Like, how? Yeah, well, you know, I think you might have possibly, you know, did that because there's no way she would have done it herself. And, you know, who else would have done it? Not the, you know, hundreds of thousands of people that are all stirred up by this. No, it had to be you. You're responsible. Sorry. What? WTF? Come on now. All right, so this is one of the articles that came out September. So this is like 2 weeks before this hearing. Bachelor accused of fathering twins in paternity suit. And then it says he is denying the claims. And then the next one, oh wait, no, that's the recent one. I'm at the bottom. People actually ran a story, said the same thing. He confirms he did not father the twins. And then this was updated October 6th after he released that video that says, hey, didn't do it. And they showed his video. And then the day of the hearing, Us Weekly ran the story. He claims the test, claims test confirms he's not the dad of X's twins. Let's go, baby. And then it has all their information. But those were the 3 articles that came out right around the time of this hearing, or the day of this hearing. This isn't the 6th. The one before that was the 6th. This is like the week after, I think. And it was right about this time that she filed a lawsuit against Dave Neal.
Is ARS 13?
For starting to cover the case and for raising money for Clayton for an attorney. I mean, it's obvious he needed an attorney. Anybody who knows anything about this could see he was doing amazing on his own, but he really, needed that legal help. Like if he would have had those Dropbox screenshots, that would have been done. That was all. That's all he has is that photo with an unknown origin. And if you can link it back to Jane Doe, done so.
2916A4. And so those are the reasons for my ruling. Brady does not apply because, as my understanding is, the parties never lived together, right?
Yes, we did not.
So that's required by Brady.
They didn't even go on a date.
So you're not going to lose your gun right. But obviously you want to be really careful with how you use those. And you've never threatened, personally told her that you're going to harm her. It's just that this, it's almost like you can summon a tsunami with your followers, according to her testimony.
Summon a tsunami.
Does the plaintiff want, I'm going to answer, I know you have a question, so I'm going to give you a chance to ask it. But before I get there, I want to find out from you, is there anything that you want me to do to modify the order of protection?
I think, we can still have communication about paternity. My main concern with him is just that he's going to be posting untrue things that are going to cause people to harass me. Mm-hmm. I'm not afraid he's going to physically harm me. Right. My concern is more that, but I still think we need to talk about the paternity case because we're both unrepresented in that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think that the order of protection itself is broad enough to encompass this idea of continuing to incite people to bother you. And so I choose not to put anything on there because it would be really difficult to write. Why?
Nobody
there are First
showed
Amendment
anything.
concerns here that I don't want to say. Don't tell any of your followers anything about your situation with Laura Owen. Well, I'm not sure that that's probably overbroad, but I would be working probably futilely to find the right balance of language here. So I'm just going to leave it. All right, so I'm not going to amend the order of protection. Okay. All right. Now, Mr. Echard, you had a question for me. I would let me just finish this form, and then I'm going to be glad to try to at least answer your question. Go ahead.
I'm okay to ask?
Yes.
Okay.
And thank you for
What
waiting patiently.
Yes.
Just happened.
My understanding is that this order is going to into effect because the belief is that I was the only one that had access to that photo. If I'm able to prove, which I believe I can prove, that she has sent it to someone else, am I able to get an extension before this ruling?
No.
Because I do believe
No?
I can prove that she sent this to other individuals.
Okay.
So what would I guess my question is, how do I go about, because again, my understanding is that's what this is hinging on, and I do believe that I can get credible evidence that she sent this to another individual. So if I'm able to get my hands on that, would that not reverse the ruling?
No. Well, first of all, I'm going to rule now. I do not. This is the time for the hearing, and these are, this is. I don't think it's appropriate here to hold the case open until you can come back with more evidence. So no, I choose not to do that. I also, and I know that was my main focus, But I also believe that you talked with your followers about this and that she testified that you had made comments about her and how you don't believe her and that she's a liar to your fan base. And I also believe that that is something that can be added as reasons for my decision under the harassment statute.
I guarantee you he has
There's
zero clue how social media
29,
works.
21, 1A, 1 and 2. And she came to me for well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I think if all that we got were a text message.
So it actually causes you problems. Background checks and things like that, it shows up on it. So it kind of hangs over your head. And while it's not something that would necessarily disqualify you from normal employment and things like that, nobody's going to hire you to be a mental health motivational speaker, all these things, when it says that you have a DV restraining order against you by your ex-girlfriend. There's nothing in there that says it was from posting a Halloween costume picture parody online. It just says DV restraining order. So it looks really bad for a person.
For me saying, I hate you, and if you do this, I'm going to be really mad and you're going to regret it. I mean, that could mean a lot of things. It could mean I'm going to sue you.
She said.
I'm going to have attorneys, follow you to the lawful ends of the earth to the extent that the law allows. That is, that's scary, but you have the right to do, you can say it once. And if that's all you did, then that I wouldn't have granted an order of protection.
He was going on harassment.
Here, you not only expressed your intent, but then I find that you followed through with it. And you used the means that were available to you in order to, frankly, get her to stand down and abandon these claims that you're the father of these children, or that I think at some point you accept the fact that she's pregnant, but you're still, and you have the right to still say, I don't believe that this is my child.
Wow. And right there's the crux of it all. I apologize. I kept hitting, my fingers twitch from the MS, and I go to pause it, and sometimes if you're like a 1/10 of an inch up, it takes the whole video back to the beginning. So yes, she did admit to having contact with the judge. It is on record, where she emailed him and everything else, and it's just unbelievable. So the judge believes she is pregnant at this time. Now, at this point in time, there have been, I believe all the ultrasounds that have been submitted have been disproven by Clayton. There have been no medical records. There is the one HCG, I think. Oh, I don't even know if that's on file yet. And the no fetal DNA. So I don't understand how all those things can happen and not cause that shadow of a doubt that he should have, to not make assumptions against Clayton. What he should do is admonish both of them for acting like children, and you go home and you stop saying mean things and you stop harassing him. Go on with your life. I mean, that's the position the court is usually in this situation. This is like way overreaching. He's like creating. Wow.
And that's going to play out in a paternity case. So I hope that answers your question. If not to your satisfaction, at least that's the best I can do. So I'm going to order that because this has been affirmed, that you please leave stuff. One other thing, I'm making a finding that these acts that I just found had occurred caused I believe that it caused the plaintiff to feel
Poor little me. Yeah.
seriously alarmed, annoyed, humiliated, and mentally distressed. And in fact, so that's it made her feel that way as a subjective matter.
I would love to get her take on
And that
this.
it would have caused a reasonable person to feel the same way under the circumstances, so. So I focused on his intent, her intent. I think I've completely given every reason that I can think of. And of course, anything else that's supported by the record is important. Now, please, everybody going forward, use your legal rights, use your the legal pathways that are available to protect you.
Anticipated this though.
And I wish both of you the best. I appreciate your patience with me today. And so please leave separately so there are no hassles out in the parking lot or anything, okay?
Gee, I can't with this guy. So I get what you're saying. Like, she really did get a leg up on this one. But I mean, if you're broke, you're broke. I know Dave Neal started a fundraiser for him to get him the attorney. And with a case like this, like that, going to that hearing and all of that, the attorney would probably want $10,000 retainer for that. And probably at least 5, not 10. I'm not sure what prices are out there, but it's going to add up quick. And even if the attorney would have ended that, this is a separate case. This is a separate case number from the other one that we watched. So this is not the family law case. This is a separate TPO under a separate case number. Now, Clayton will in turn file against her, and that will be a third case with a third TPO, a TPO under a third case number. So hindsight is great. It's just, who anticipates this? I have never seen anything like this. It blows my mind. I mean, if anybody else has seen this before, I'd love to hear about it, because this is like that weird stuff that they make a movie about. And they got to tame it down because they think if they tell the whole story in the movie, people won't believe it. Yeah. Like, too much for Hollywood. Again, you can't just go say, protect me against them because they're saying bad things about me. You know, Clayton's not stupid. He knows she didn't cross the line. She didn't make a threat. She didn't sit outside his house. You know, there's things you have to do to threaten someone. There's lots of times people, like battered spouses, go to court to get a protection order and get denied. I mean, people who are getting injured on a daily basis. So when you go to family court with like nothing, I'm going to say again, hindsight. I would have gone to that pro se. I wouldn't have thought I needed a lawyer. Like, this is ridiculous. She's not pregnant. This can't be a thing. Like, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to show the judge. The judge is going to see it and it'll be fine. That's his headspace. I'm sure. Like, it'll be all good. Good night, Carol. How he got to revenge porn blows my mind. I probably just got my stream demonetized from that, but like, Yeah, because he didn't have it like overlaid with pretty colors and easily explainable. Like, I'm starting to learn that it's like hit or miss. Yeah, that there's no telling. It depends on the judge and how they feel and how you come off to them. And if you come off as sweet and innocent and nice and, oh, I'm really embarrassed. He showed everybody a picture of me and my bra and my gassy belly. Yeah, he's going to go, oh, she reminds me of my granddaughter. Oh. I just, wow. Like, do you want me to send you this that you can finish? Because it's been sitting there for like a year. Come on, Ross. Sorry. I hadn't watched this before, and I mean I knew he had the restraining order, but I didn't know, or the protective order. Sorry, or two different things. Come here. Come on. The cat's camera shy, but she wants on my lap. I didn't realize what he used to get there, and that's unbelievable to me. We watch a lot of TPO cases and family law cases on the channel, and I watch like 10 times more than that, finding you the content for the channel. And it just blows my mind. And once I get done like processing it, then I just get mad. Like, so many people like freaking sitting there waiting for their day in court or not being believed because now this judge is going to know he screwed up. He's going to see all the evidence. He's going to look back. It just like when their decisions get appealed, you know, it's kind of like, oh, you know, it's like the boss telling you screwed up. It doesn't feel good. And it's going to make you more gun shy going forward. So if this happens again, and say the woman's telling the truth next time, he could not believe her because of this bullshit, which is fucked up. Why should someone else get negativity because you want to play some freaking charade game? I really hope that's not what's going on. Ugh, I'm so sorry. They suck. It's really hard to watch a lot of the stuff that goes on. It really is. Oh, I'm sure they all know about it. Someone told me that there's people that go to the courthouse every day and get the documents and things like that. I'm sure it's well known what this case is. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to weigh the reputation of the bachelor versus the well-being of sweet Laura. And where do you land? Well, I'm always going to go with the one that's more likely to hurt, even though there's zero evidence to back up those assertions. No, he would have to file a counter TPO. In most states, I don't know. Arizona's got some wacky laws. I'm finding things are very weird. Very, very weird. So just to give you an idea of where we are in the timeline, you know, just because tomorrow we will have part 3, and I will try and prep it ahead of time. Uh-oh. I don't know which screen it is. Nope, not that one. Nope. Oh, is that one? I think it's that one. Nope. Nope. Nope, that's not it. I have too many tabs open. What's that t-shirt that says my brain has too many tabs open? I can't remember what it said. Gosh, darn it. Said it wasn't that one. It's gotta be that one. Okay. So we're at, oh, down here. 10. We're right here at 10:20. So we still have to go through all the December and January motions, all the way up to the, oh wait, no, we still have the 2nd November hearing. Then all the December and January motions. And all of the motions that have been filed since then. Look at this. Look at the number of motions that have been filed in this case. I mean, all of these aren't motions, but most of them are something that went along with the court. The one thing I was going to talk to you about, and then I gotta go to bed. Somebody was asking about the number of attorneys she's had. And I think it's like 7 or something like that. But I just noticed the other day that there was a bar complaint right here. I don't think I'd seen this before. She's filed bar complaints against her attorneys, all of her ex-attorneys. Like, at what point in time do you realize that, hey, maybe it's me? Like, maybe I need to do something a little bit different. I'm not positive all of them. I think I've seen it on 2. She also filed a bar complaint against Lexi too. Okay, so that, wait, who was I just looking at? That's what I was just looking at. She filed one against the Clayton's attorney, who was also victim to Greg's attorney. Yeah. I'm sure there's more to come. No, it never is. But, I mean, after that many people, I know it's really hard to admit the truth and all that. But after that many, if this many people are turning against you. Okay, so we are going to say goodnight. You say goodnight? No, because you don't like being held. You just want to sit on me. You don't want me to hold you. You want it your way. Spoiled animals. We might have something interesting for you tomorrow. I don't know. I got to get with Big Tiff and see. We will definitely have Who's Your Daddy. Tomorrow's about daddies. Find out who Penny's daddy is. I'm very excited to know. And oh my gosh, 50K. Thank you all so much. You are absolutely amazing. I appreciate you more than I can say. And yeah, I'm going to bed. It's been a day and a half. But we got through number 2, and that was the hard one. Number 3, easy breezy. Thank you all. Seriously? Oh, that's unreal. In a paternity case where babies aren't even born. There's no babies. There's no babies. Wow. Unbelievable. I can't wrap my head around it. No, you guys are. I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much. Thanks for sticking with me. And I will see you in the morning. Good night.